feel like the taxpayers end up paying for a lot of things. For instance, my taxes are paying for the guy that shot me.
Whose responsibility is it? A young woman's life will never be the same because of it. We'll have a report on an assault case that could very well set precedents from now on. And what's happening to our local drug enforcement team now that a shakeup has jumbled the ranks?
Salt Lake's Jewish community is backing up the LDS Church. We'll tell you why. And some very special Olympia Attrex show us what athletic competition is all about. How does a great weekend sound to you? Clayton says he's got one.
All right, and Klaus talks to Jazz coach Frank Layton about some of the new ball handlers hoping to make the cut. The KTVX News at 5:30 is next.
Sizzler. Spice. Fresh. Tender.
Lean. A thick, juicy Sizzler steak and all the fresh fruit and salad you can eat. A great steak and a great deal, too. The steak,
Seafood. Salad. Sizzler.
Tired of working for others? Then a business of your own is the answer. And there's no better place to find it than at the Franchise Show Extravaganza this Saturday and Sunday at the Westin Hotel, Utah. Never before have so many franchises and distributorships been on display in the Salt Lake City area. A business of your own means never being out of work again. That's the Franchise Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Westin Hotel, Utah, located at Main and South Temple. Don't miss it or you could miss out on your future. Hours noon to 6, admission $3.
From Salt Lake City, Utah's Channel 4, this is KTVX News with Phil Reeson, Karen Carnes, Clayton Bruck with weather, and Steve Brown with sports.
Good evening, everyone. Phil is on vacation. I'm Dan Bryan.
And I'm Karen Carnes. LaDawn Prue of Sandy was shot by a prison inmate 3 years ago and paralyzed for life. Now she's suing the state for $4 million. She says the state is responsible, but Utah claims it's exempt from liability under the law, even though it was wrong. And state attorneys today asked that the case be thrown out of court. Ken Connaughton has more for us.
She's 21 now, with nearly 3 years of paralysis behind her and a lifetime ahead. The past 3 years have been hard and they've been expensive, and now LaDawn Prue feels the state should come up with $4 million to see her through the years to come. Her attorneys argue the state was negligent when it sent convicted rapist Kenneth Roberts to a halfway house, which promptly closed for Christmas and left him without supervision for 2 days. On Christmas Eve, 1982, he shot Miss Prue in front of her Sandy home. Now she's suing, but the state's asking that the case be dismissed. Attorney Alan Larson told the 3rd District Court today the state knows it was wrong. We all know today, he said, that Kenneth Roberts shouldn't have been released to a halfway house. But he said the state is still immune from suit under the law. Quoting, he committed the crime, true. She was grievously injured, true. But that the state should be liable, not true. Attorney George Haley, representing Miss Prue, argued that if the state had followed its own policies and procedures, it would be immune. But it didn't, he said. Quote, the state did not follow its own procedures. Therefore, he said, it's liable. Judge Judith Billings, who took the case under advisement, told Haley the state may well have violated its own rules, but she added, I would rather have the state's position on the law and your position on the facts. And that's all important at this point because the only question is one of law. If the law says the state's immune, no jury will ever get to hear the facts. Ken Connaughton, KTVX, 4 News.
A third lawsuit has been filed against an Idaho raceway and others as a result of the July 27th accident in which a funny car slammed into a concession stand. The suit, filed on behalf of Sharon Thompson and her daughter Wendy Smith, seeks over $700,000 in damages. One person died and 24 were injured when the car went out of control while performing in front of the stands at the Firebird Raceway outside Boise. The couple who were injured claimed the raceway and the American Drag Racing Association were negligent in not protecting the public. A convicted murderer in Arizona, who has also been convicted of murder here in Utah, has been granted a stay in his execution scheduled for next week. Viva Leroy Nash was given the death sentence for killing a Phoenix coin hop operator during a robbery in 1983. The murder was several weeks after Nash escaped from the Utah State Prison, where he was serving 2 life terms for robbery and murder.
In the wake of the pullout by the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Department from the Metro Narcotics Strike Force yesterday, Salt Lake area law enforcement agencies are trying to save the special unit. Salt Lake City Police Chief Bud Willoughby says the pullout hurts. 11 agencies claim to belong to the combined anti-drug unit. But as our John Harrington reveals in this report, that many of the 11 have not been willing to put their money where their mouths are.
Yesterday, Salt Lake County Sheriff Pete Hayward nearly cut in two the independent narcotics strike force by pulling out the 7 people he had in it. At first, Salt Lake City Police Chief Bud Willoughby said the pullout wouldn't damage the Special Forces' ability to battle drug trafficking in the Salt Lake area. But by late in the day, he was changing his outlook.
I'm not saying that him pulling out is not going to hurt the strike force.
Despite the fact 11 agencies claimed last year they were part of the strike force, figures obtained by Channel 4 show who was footing the bill. This is the breakdown of buy money, the lifeblood of undercover drug work. Without it, no drugs are bought, no cases are made. 45%, $40,000, was pledged by the Sheriff's Department, the same amount as Salt Lake City. Its loss leaves doubts about the future effectiveness of the force. While illegal drugs continue to flourish in the Salt Lake area, there is no argument the squad was making substantial busts. In the past month, the strike force seized some 13 pounds of pure cocaine on 2 cases. But because it thought big, the strike force spent little time on small street-level deals, one of the Sheriff's Department's main complaints.
There is little doubt that the Sheriff's Department pullout from the narcotics strike force has dealt at least a temporary crippling blow. The Salt Lake City Police Department says it will try to take up some of the manpower slack by adding 4 more people immediately. But in the meantime, morale is low, and there are an awful lot of bitter feelings on the 7th floor of the Metropolitan Hall of Justice. In Salt Lake City, John Harrington, KTVX 4 News.
Also today, our state's first ladies took aim at the state's drug problems. The wives of elected officials met today at the governor's mansion to announce their involvement in a drug-free youth program. The first ladies will be following the lead of Nancy Reagan in bringing the drug problem to public view and actively working with our young people. Also, 2 American researchers are suggesting that parents have their kids take urine tests to see if they're using marijuana. Writing in the Journal of American Medical Association today, the researchers say such a test can determine whether children are using the drug. They say that frequent marijuana use is responsible for behavioral problems among teens.
6,000 acres of Targhee National Forest is closed today after grizzly bears were sighted. The region near Henry's Lake is closed to provide safety for tourists. Meanwhile, in western Montana, near Great Falls, as many as 3 grizzlies may be on the prowl. Throughout the West, ranchers report bears are killing their livestock. In view of these sightings, Interior Secretary Donald Hodel is expected to present a $100 million check to Montana officials. The money will be used to beef up the Rangers' bear management program. Hodel is visiting Targhee and Yellowstone National Parks as part of his Western State tour. 7,000 tons of low-level radioactive soil will roll through Utah soon. Union Pacific Railroad has the go-ahead to transport the soil from New Jersey to Nevada. This action was handed down by a U.S. district judge who yesterday rejected a request for a preliminary injunction. The soil will be transported within the next 2 weeks. Well, coming up, Utah's Jewish community speaks out about Mormonism.
And a religious beginning in Chicago. Please stay with us.
Do you suffer from any of these common health problems? Backache, hiatal hernia, poor circulation in your legs, edema or swollen feet, everyday aches and pains? Then I want you to meet the Craftmatic 2 adjustable bed. The Craftmatic 2 is Craftmatic's first adjustable bed available at a flat bed price. Get into the Craftmatic 2 and press this control. It raises the head of the bed to help alleviate hiatal hernia and relieve low back pain. Elevate the foot to reduce edema and increase blood circulation to the legs. Use the heat and massage to help eliminate everyday aches and pains. Now, for the price of a flatbed, you can sleep in tension-free comfort, watch TV, read, eat, and relax in an electronically adjustable Craftmatic 2. Get free facts by mail about Craftmatic's first adjustable bed available at a flatbed price. Call now. There's absolutely no obligation.
Call 1-800-228-1200 toll-free. Call 1-800-228-1200. Call 1-800-228-1200 toll-free. That's 1-800-228-1200.
BYU has proposed a supervisory board to ensure that the school's new study center in Jerusalem won't be used for converting Jews to Christianity. Now, that's a word today from BYU President Jeffrey Holland. He's been in the Middle East all week trying to smooth over edges surrounding the construction of the new project. This is Holland's last day in Jerusalem. He tossed in a warning today before his departure, saying that Mormons may resort to political clout if the Jews continue to hinder construction of the facility. And interestingly enough, Utah Jews are coming to the aid of the LDS Church and Brigham Young University. Ultra-conservative Israelis have been protesting, as you know, BYU President Jeffrey Holland during his trip to Israel. The Mormon University wants to open a study center in Jerusalem, and many citizens there feel it will be the first step by the LDS Church to convert Israelis to Mormonism. Holland has assured leaders of the Jewish state that will not happen. And the Telegraph from Utah Jews supports the church's intentions and its integrity.
The Jewish community here in Salt Lake felt that it should express its feelings about the ability to trust the leaders of the LDS Church to honor their commitments.
Also today, the Israeli Consul General from Los Angeles, Jacob Evan, told the Utah Governor Norm Bangerter that the protest being made in Jerusalem is just a big noise and a media event. Evan says the BYU Study Center has the support of many Israelis. The cornerstone of a new Mormon temple was laid in Chicago today. Church officials prayed in memory of early Mormons whose Nauvoo, Illinois temple was destroyed in 1848. The new temple in Chicago's suburb of Glenview is the 37th built by the church and the 35th now in operation. The temple will serve the district's 160,000 members. More than 100,000 guests toured the temple after President Gordon Hinckley gave the dedicatory prayer.
And another news involving the LDS Church, officials will travel to Ricks College next week to name the school's new president. Elder Thomas Monson will announce Tuesday who will replace Bruce Hafen as president at the Rexburg School. Hafen has been appointed the new dean at the J. Reuben Clark Law School at BYU. Well, smoke from a dump fire filled the Ogden Valley this morning. Weber County and Ogden City firefighters worked several hours to contain a fire at the Weber County landfill. The fire started around 4:30 a.m. It was under control about 5 hours later. Firefighters aren't sure if it was maliciously started or resulted from spontaneous combustion in a pile of tires or in a nearby stack of diapers disposed by the Kimberly-Clark plant. The fire caused no damage but did release a large quantity of pollutants into the air. Park City's fire chief is resigning over a dispute between himself and members of the Park City Fire Commission. Chief Jim Barry says when he told a local paper he would no longer provide backup service to an annual demolition derby event in Park City, he drew criticism from commissioners and citizens alike. So he says after 2 years on the Park City force, he'll step down.
Before we bring you tonight's missing children report, we have a warning for you. Apparently, somebody is soliciting funds, claiming the money will defray costs connected with the KTVX program. Now, we do not ask for any money. The entire cost of producing these reports for Utah is borne by Channel 4 News. If somebody asks for money on behalf of KTVX Missing Children program, please do not give it to them. Tonight, we have 3 children to tell you about who need to return home. Maybe you have seen them, and you can help us. Natasha Marie Shanes was last seen in Jackson, Michigan, May 7th at 10 p.m. asleep in her bed. At 6:30 a.m., she was missing. The front door of her home was open. Natasha is 5.5 years old. She has a strawberry mark on the back of her neck, a small pit scarring on her forehead, and a noticeable hole in the lower front tooth. Natasha has brown hair, brown eyes, and is 4 feet tall and weighs 57 pounds. She is epileptic and requires medication for seizure control. Natasha will appear to be shaky. Missing since October 1st, 1984 from Holcomb, Washington, is 8-year-old Stephen Philip Curtis. Stephen has light brown hair and blue eyes. Now 6 years old is Mercedes Aurora Chisholm. She was abducted from Tillamook, Oregon on May 17th, 1980. Mercedes has dark brown hair and brown eyes. Please call the Missing Children Network if you know anything about Natasha, Stephen, or Mercedes, or any missing child. And coming up, still summer sunshine, but it is feeling like fall. Clayton has the details.
Just a little bit, and we'll answer, or try to answer the question, does the fountain of youth still flow? We'll take a look. Coming up.
Today, certain types of insurance are a must. If you don't carry auto insurance, who pays? You do. Without homeowners insurance, who pays? You do. If you're over 65 and on Medicare, as I am, and you don't have first-rate Medicare supplement insurance, who pays what Medicare doesn't? That's right, you do. And that's why you need secure care from National Home Life to help pay the bills Medicare doesn't. Take down this toll-free number while I show you how much you must pay even with Medicare in 1985. During the first 60 days of hospitalization, you pay $400. In the next 30 days, you pay up to $3,000. In the next 60 days, it jumps to $12,000. And believe it or not, if you have to stay in a hospital for 150 days, even with Medicare, you still have to pay $15,400. But when you have secure care, you pay nothing, not 1 penny of those expenses. Secure Care also continues to pay for 1 full year after Medicare stops. It also helps pay doctor, medical, and surgical bills outside the hospital. Now, I carry Secure Care myself. Let me show you how easy it is. You just dial this toll-free number.
Hello, Secure Care. May I help you?
Yes, I'd like more information on Secure Care, please.
Certainly. You too should call me at the toll-free number on your screen now. Give me your name and address, and I'll mail information on our new 1985 Medicare supplement. Or write Secure Care, Valley Forge, PA 19493. Pick up the phone and call the toll-free number on your screen now.
This is one of the best days ever.
It ought
Beautiful.
to be. Oh, it feels very comfortable, too.
Great.
In fact, I'd say tomorrow and Sunday will feel definitely more like the latter part of September rather than the first half of August. And we'll explain why in just a minute. First of all, here's some rather cool 24-hour temperatures. Notice, first of all, here are some record morning lows. Elko, Nevada, down to 33 degrees this morning. That is unbelievable. And here it is, still even August. Winnemucca, Nevada, 37 for a low this morning. Boise, Idaho, 43. Those are all record lows. Along the Wasatch Front, well, the Salt Lake International Airport did make it down to 55 degrees this morning. BYU down to 54. The University of Utah down to 54 as well. And highs this afternoon, anywhere between 5 to 15 degrees below normal for this time of the year, only getting up mainly into the 70s along the Wasatch Front. Down south, Milford reaching 78 this afternoon, Fillmore 89. Well, what's happening across the country? Take a quick look at the east. First of all, some heavy thunderstorms down here. Miami, Florida, picking up more than 2 inches of rain, most of which fell in a 1-hour period this afternoon. Might also mention some very heavy thunderstorms, particularly over areas of New Mexico and all the way through the Central Plains. In fact, areas of North and South Dakota late last night and this morning, picking up anywhere between a ½ inch to more than 1 inch of rain in several locations. Well, here in the west, not too much going on, except for one thing. A cool northwesterly flow. I mean, the air is very cool for this time of the year. And folks, it's not going to end because we have another storm now developing off the Gulf of Alaska. That storm will swing southward and then move inland, and we can expect even cooler air by Sunday and Monday. When we get to the 5-day forecast, you'll notice some very cool temperatures. Now, for tomorrow, well, we're still going to average below normal for this time of the year, but not as cool as what will take place on Sunday. First of all, lows tomorrow down the 40s and 50s over most areas of northern Utah, highs getting up into the 80s. Of course, mostly sunny skies because we're simply in a rather dry, cool flow. Lows tonight along the Wasatch Front, 50s to 40s. Some of the higher elevation valleys could easily drop down into the 30s, though, and areas like Ely or Elko, Nevada, definitely down into the 30s tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow, only 85 in the Salt Lake Valley, only 86 at Wendover there in the desert, 87 at Milford. All right, here's the 5-day forecast. Really not much as far as storminess is concerned, but take a look at the temperatures. In fact, on Sunday afternoon, we cool it down to the fact we only get up into the mid-70s. And morning lows on Sunday could easily drop down into the 40s over many areas. Monday, mostly sunny skies, the same on Tuesday and Wednesday, but we really don't even warm up to normal until about another week and a half, if even that.
I love it. It's great.
September and August.
Appreciate it very much.
All right.
Thanks, Clayton. Some more good news. The world's longest living artificial heart recipient will be released from the hospital on Sunday. 53-year-old William Schrader received his Jarvik 7 artificial heart last November 25th at the Humana Heart Institute in Louisville, Kentucky. Schrader had lived in a specially equipped apartment for a month before suffering a second stroke on May 6th. Last Sunday, he visited his hometown of Jasper, Indiana, for the first time since undergoing the implant surgery. Artificial heart surgeon William DeVries says Schrader has shown steady improvement since his stroke.
Well, first there were the Olympics in Los Angeles, then there were the Special Olympics in Park City. But today it was Bountiful's turn as nearly 150 special athletes turned out for Utah's second annual Olympia Attrex. Now, the event was hosted by the Bountiful Convalescence Center and attracted geriatric patients from Provo to Box Elder County.
It's an athletic event designed for the people who live in long-term care facilities. They're 55 years on up to 98, and they're all sporting events specifically designed for their ability.
Today's activities included shooting basketballs, bowling, checkers, and wheelchair races. Tonight at 10, we'll have more on Utah's Olympia Attrex. And coming up, a live interview with Jazz coach Frank Layden. Klaus is up next with all the sports.
I just love curling up with the Sunday paper on nice mornings like this, don't you? And this Sunday, there's something extra in your paper or TV guide. A special invitation to enter the enchanted world, the fascinating series from Time Life Books. It's a thrilling account of legends, myths, and folktales of ages past, featuring exquisite illustrations and superbly written text. Just look for this ad and use it to order your first book, Wizards and Witches, for 10 days free. Find this box next to the wizard's hand and draw a lightning bolt through it and get this solar-powered calculator free when you buy your first book. Find out how to enter the enchanted world in this Sunday's paper or TV guide. But remember, once you enter the enchanted world, there's no telling where your imagination will take you.
KSOP, AM and FM presents in concert Lee Greenwood.
God bless the USA.
With Gary Morris.
And our lasso you.
Together in concert, Lee Greenwood and Gary Morris, August 24th in LaSalle Palace. Tickets are now on sale through Datatex, Utah's ECMI stores, Country Joe's record shops, and KSOP.
Well, Klaus and I missed our chance again to try out for the Jazz, Car.
You've got a request I'm going to ask Frank when we get to him in a moment. Frank Layden is about ready to put the rookies and the free agents through their fourth 2-hour session during the 3-day rookie camp at Westminster College. Now, the maestro himself is standing by live in the hallowed halls of Westminster. Hello, Frank.
Hello, Klaus. How are you? I'm glad we didn't have to sign you. You would have been tough.
I saw the action last night, and I like my nose right where it is on my face. You've got some big guys. Frank, what can you tell in 5 sessions in 3 days about these players?
Well, I think we can find out if they're ready to come back again. I think we establish whether they're in good enough condition to be invited back. I think we establish whether they can shoot the basketball well enough to play in the NBA. And, of course, we take a good look at their physical stature. And, as you mentioned, we've got some big, strong fellas here.
Now, Malone and Hayes are already going to be on the team. Anybody else right now surprised that looks good or disappointed in anyone?
No, I think a couple of players have done real well. David Pope, who was in our rookie camp last year, has looked real good. Ray Hall, a rookie from Canisius College, has looked real good. And I think Kerry Scurry, our second-round pick, we've shifted him to guard, but he's working hard at it. And all those players have done a nice job.
Will a lot of them stay around for this Pro-Am Summer League?
Well, we're planning on keeping about 8 of them and actually enter them into the league as a team. And that will give us a few more weeks to look at their skills.
We're looking at some of the action from last night. I noticed you're getting some good crowds.
Well, the people are coming out, and let's face it, the Jazz are on a high. It seems that we're selling a lot of season tickets. There's a lot of interest in the media. And, of course, this is the one time that they can come and see the Jazz free.
That's a good point. By the way, Dan Breinholt said he played high school ball, college ball. Is there still room on the roster for him?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think if he could come up with about $100,000 a year, we could find a spot for him.
He's writing out the check now.
All right.
Frank, thanks a lot, and we'll see you at regular camp next month.
Thank you, Klaus.
Okay.
A pleasure.
Coach Frank Layden live at Westminster. You still got time to get out there, free of charge, as he mentioned, and they will be playing until 8 o'clock tonight and then one more round tomorrow. All right, now the second round of the PGA Championship is underway right now, still going on at Cherry Hills Country Club in Colorado. The man of the hour is the defending champion, Lee Trevino. Now, yesterday, Trevino, a little luck. You know what they say, it's better to be lucky than good. Look at this shot. Second on the par 5, 17th, in the water, out of the water, and up on the green. Well, today he had just as much luck, more skill probably with the putter, taking only 55 putts so far in the 2 rounds, and he is all alone at 3 under 68 today, 8 under total. Here is one shot back. That is Fred Couples. He put together a 65. He's at -7. And former U.S. Open champion Hubert Green seems to have kind of picked back up his touch on the short game. He's at 6 under after shooting a 2 under 69 today. First round leader Doug Toole just now has finished, but he started his round with a bogey on the first hole and then a birdie here on the 7th to make the turn at 7 under par. All right, let's go to the leaderboard, take a look at where we stand. There's Trevino on top. Freddie Couples at 7 under, Hubert Green, Doug Toole now both at 6 under par, 2 behind the leader. Then comes Peter Jacobson, Jack Nicklaus today, a 75, 4 over par after that great 66. And he's got to put another good one on the board tomorrow to be in contention for the final round on Sunday. Arnold Palmer maybe in danger of missing the cut at 147 after a couple of rounds. Local players, Mike Reed, also in danger of missing the cut after posting a 36-hole score of 147, 5 under par. We'll have complete results tonight at 10 o'clock. Now, if you love oval car racing, well, you'll be in carburetor heaven this weekend if you stop off at the Bonneville Speedway tonight and tomorrow. Now, back in April, the Utah Circuit joined the USAC Club, which now means that more cars from a wider area around the West and some of the best dirt and asphalt drivers from the Intermountain area like Kenny Hamilton, who drives the Pink Lady, and Chuck Gurney will be around, and they are among the best.
These new cars that they're running, the offset roadster, is going to be very difficult for me to even be in the same day with them, really. Guys like Chuck Gurney and Wally Pankratz, my son David, and those guys, they're going to run hard.
It's bringing all the best cars in the West together in one track at, you know, each event we have, and it has good competition, close racing, and it puts on a good show for the crowds at all the tracks we've been to this year so far. All you hear after the races on how fast the cars are.
And the racing kicks off tonight at 6:30, qualifying. The pits will open tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They'll have hot laps from 3 till about 6:30, followed by the second night, and that is the Big Silver Cup. A lot of money on the line, close to $20,000. Good ones. And the Trappers, I got to mention, back home tonight, and they've been on a roll. They swept 4 from Butte, and they're playing the Northern Division leaders, Great Falls, who they lost to by 1 run each of the 3 games up there. So let's get the crowds out tonight. They're 3 games ahead in the Southern Division, and they will. Looks like they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going against the best.
Nice to have them back.
7 o'clock, Birch Field. Yeah.
Fun.
Thank you, Klaus. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Weeknights at 6 p.m. You can test your skill with the contestants at the Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
2's company, 3's a crowd.
Yeah, that's it. Thousands of dollars in cash and merchandise right on the solution.
You win some, you lose some.
Yes. Be part of the excitement.
Join us tonight for Wheel of Fortune on KTVX.
It's back to fall for fashion at Fashion Place. See the parade of new fall looks in fashion shows August 10th and 17th. Decorate your shoebox from those new school shoes and enter it as a float in our miniature parade. Judging will take place August 17th.
It's Fashion Place for you, with a style that you choose. It's your
This weekend, Colette's invites you to buy one, get one free. Buy a traditional or contemporary sofa and love seat for $6.99 and get this beautiful 5-piece dining room absolutely free. Buy this action recliner by Lane for only $2.99 and get a matching recliner free. You'll find many similar offers throughout the store. And we're offering no pay till New Year's Day. You make no monthly payments until after January 1st. Now is the time to buy one, get one free with no payments until after January 1st. Only at Colette's.
Summertime saving time, summertime saving time.
It's summertime saving time at your Mazda dealers, and we're dealing on everything. Like the economical Mazda GLC hatchback with front-wheel drive, independent rear suspension, and a $51.95 price. It's already a great value. But right now, at the end of the model year, you can beat that price. So come by now and save.
Mazda summertime saving time.
See Mazda of Provo, Klein's Mazda, Stephen Wade Mazda, Freeway Mazda, Dolly's Mazda.
Couple of final notes tonight before we go. The Utah Supreme Court has ruled North Salt Lake illegally annexed the Chevron USA refinery. The justices, in a unanimous decision, said the city's only reason for extending its boundaries into the refinery was to increase revenues, which Utah law bars. The decision upholds a ruling by the 2nd District Court, which also found the annexation illegal.
And coming up tonight at 10 on Nightcast, retired Navy officer Arthur Walker was convicted today of spying for the Soviets. And in Chicago, 7 teenagers on their way to a Bruce Springsteen concert were killed in a bus car accident. Also tonight, a group of influential women fight to get ratings placed on record albums with violent or sexually explicit lyrics. Those stories and more tonight at 10. So have a nice night. Join us then.
We'll see you later.
Need relief from athlete's foot?
Feel the Desenex difference.
And there is a difference because medicated Desenex does more than just cure athlete's foot. Want cooling, soothing relief?
Feel the Desenex difference.
Desenex soothes burning feet, cools tender feet. Want relief from cracked, itchy feet?
Feel the Desenex difference.
Desenex relieves itching, gives real foot comfort, and used daily, Desenex helps prevent reinfection. Feel the Desenex difference.
Family Feud tonight on KTVX Channel 4.